After Michigan State takes it to another blue blood in a top 25 matchup, it's pretty clear us Michigan State fans were dead right about something.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, happy belated Thanksgiving, and thanks a lot for making Locked On Spartans part of your daily routine, especially during the holiday week, guys. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below your MVP of the Fort Myers Tip-Off Classic Bonanza on the world's slipperiest floor. I'm just thrilled to not have to see Michigan State play on that surface again, but we're going to talk about all the great things that happened. Again, guys, thanks a lot for making us part of your daily routine here, right on the number one ranked Locked On Podcast Network. Now, look, we were right about something. And no, not just me talking on this show. No. This is something that was echoed by a lot of Michigan State fans in the offseason. And sure, it was maybe like 40% joke, 60% serious, and it's nothing that really actually bothered us. But when the rankings come out before the season, Michigan State, depending on where you look, I think in the AP they slid just inside the top 25. I think they came in at 23. Or you look at a lot of other power rankings from different media outlets, they have Michigan State out of the top 25 altogether. And the refrain that we kept saying over and over again is, well, if Michigan State got Jeremy Fears, Kohler, Jaxon, Kohler, you want to throw in Carson Cooper, why not? If they got those guys out of the transfer portal instead of just, returning them like an old school basketball program, they'd be ranked inside the top 10. And would you look at that? After Michigan State absolutely dummies North Carolina 74-58, after beating yet again another top 25 opponent, your Michigan State Spartans are undefeated through the month of November for the first time since 2015-16. And they're going to be ranked inside the top 10 pretty soon because, it turns out that us Michigan State fans know ball. And it turns out Tom Izzo just didn't forget how to build a program. Look, we saw that the bones of this team were still going to be here. Yes, I understand why they were ranked outside the top 25 or just barely sneaking in. They lost an NBA player last year, Jace Richardson. They also lost Jaden Akins, Trey Holloman. A lot of people thought losing Xavier Booker was going to be this massive issue. But us Sparties, we do have something functioning between our ears because we saw that, the bulk of the rebounding brigade, which carried Michigan State last year, they're coming back. You return Jaxon, Kohler, Carson Cooper, Cohen Carr. The defense is still largely going to be here. And also, just because guys leave doesn't mean those who stay aren't going to get any better. You've seen Jaxon Kohler become this really reliable player. You've seen Cohen Carr change games with his athleticism, of course, but also adding more of an offensive package than you've seen the last 2 years here. Carson Cooper, we spoke last week ad nauseum about how well he has developed his game, his body control, much different player than what he was the first 3 years. And then, well, how about your point guard turning into not just going from good to great, but maybe good to phenom, possibly good, in my humble opinion, to best point guard in the nation. When you add all that together, you lost some guys from last year's team. The DNA of Michigan State basketball is still here. Just ask UNC. Just ask Kentucky. Just ask Arkansas, who couldn't beat Michigan State, despite our Spartans only hitting 1 3-pointer that game. Michigan State's here, and they're here to stay as a top 10 team. So let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Fears, because where else could you start after that game against North Carolina? Our point god went off for 19 points, just 7 assists, very, very well below his season average of 10 assists per game, might I say. 5 rebounds, which I feel like that's never talked about, is how active of a rebounder Jeremy Fears is. And just 2 turnovers, and one of those turnovers probably should not have been called a travel if we can nitpick a little bit right here. It was an all-star coming out party for Jeremy Fears. If anyone else in the college basketball world didn't really understand what this guy is capable of, maybe even some of us in Sparty land. Hey, look, he was good last year. Had a really good assist-to-turnover ratio. The offensive game, okay, you still want to see maybe that mid-range game, maybe shoot a little more threes, maybe get that floater going. Okay, here he is. 3rd year here. You're going to get it, and you're going to get it on national television, on Fox. taking us out of the grave that the Detroit Lions put us in. So thank you very much, Jeremy Fears, for putting a smile on our face here. Look, you saw him unlock the scoring aspect of that game, right? Mid-range, finishing in transition. His three-point ball, that was going to be an issue coming into the season as a whole for the team. Who was going to make threes? Jeremy Fears is lifting up his hands saying, fine, I'll just do it for you guys. What else do you need me to do? And you needed that kind of performance from Jeremy Fears with what really concerned me going into this game. Why I thought Michigan State was going to lose this game. Yes, we've got some things right here, but I was wrong about that one. I thought North Carolina's length, specifically MSU's offense versus UNC's defense, would just be a little too much. They would have to rely too much on the outside shots, but all they did, shoot 10 threes, make 5 of them, which never hurts. But Jeremy Fears, this game is so slowed down for him. He is just a surgeon out there with the basketball. So yeah, he did it all in the second half, 15 points. And by doing it all, I mean 3 points, mid-range, finishing in transition. It was truly the Jeremy Fears coming out party. And our friend of the program, Stephen Brooks, he had a fantastic tweet that I just got to read off right here because how can you not agree with this? The tweet goes, Jeremy Fears Jr. is rapidly becoming MSU's first face of the program since Cassius Winston. Some good players in between for sure, but nobody who carried the banner in all the ways like Fears does. It even goes far beyond what he does on the court, how well he is at dishing out the ball, having the nation's most assists per game, having a 51.5 assist percentage, which is how many field goals are you assisting when you're on the court. 51.5 is, like, if he continues that pace, truly unbelievable. But it goes beyond that. It's his attitude. It's the moxie. It's him running his mouth at the other team, but not so much so where he's going overboard with it. But you hearken back to last year's story where he looks Tom Izzo in the huddle and says, I want to win more than you do. Hey, you know what? Say what you will. I love all Spartans. There are a lot of players in the last few years that have a special place in my heart. Wasn't the greatest, but man, if there's anything you could say, it's that we needed a little bit of a culture reset back to the day. Sure, defend, rebound, run, all that good stuff. How about just refusing to lose and taking matters into your own hands like Jeremy Fears has already done for this team so far this season? Now, like we've said, this isn't the only guy that's come back. This isn't the only guy that's improved his game from last year. How about Jaxon Kohler? Just a cool, casual 10 points, 11 rebounds against North Carolina, and no points bigger than that dot of a three-pointer he hit in the second half to go up 9 points. And there was still ample time left in that game, I believe 7-8 minutes. That was the beginning of the dagger. That was the incision opening to start, okay, this is where we're going to stake our claim here, because we're not going to let North Carolina score more than 6 points the rest of the night here after he hits that three-pointer. I mean, Jaxon Kohler, the Kohler Bear, he's been everything as advertised so far this season. Colin Carr, just 8 points, 4 rebounds, but look, you've seen a big enough sample size so far this season to know that, yeah, he's definitely grown from last year. And how about setting the tone early on, putting a smile on all of our faces if you're a Lions fan. I'm sorry to bring it back to the Lions, but hey, you're down in the dumps. But what can you count on within the first, 90 seconds of the game? Colin Carr highlight package dunk. God, I love this team. God, I love this team. They my favorite people in the entire planet wear the green and white in basketball jerseys. Carson Cooper, how about this? 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 turnovers. I mean, the length did bother Carson Cooper a little bit, but my God, overall a fantastic game from him, not just offensively, but defensively too, guys. I just assumed Caleb Wilson would have 20 points because that's all he's been doing so far this season. They had him at 12 points until the game was pretty much wrapped up with 3 or 4 minutes to go. That was a stifling of a future top 10 pick in the NBA. And so just to keep it with Carson Cooper, that was his 5th double-digit scoring game of the season. If you want another stat to show you how much this guy has grown, guys, in his first 3 years in East Lansing, he had 4 total double-digit scoring games over the 3 years combined. And now he just got his 5th one this season. It's incredible. It's incredible what you can do when you stay and trust the process. And sure, there are many people that doubted to see if, is this the right guy to have in the program? I might be one of those people at times. Not all the time, but at times I certainly wondered, what is the end game here with Carson Cooper? Well, the end game is him stick around 4 years, becoming this dynamic center. Both ends of the court, too. Man, this is a special team. We're not done talking about the special team. We got to talk about another special team, the football team, special for a different reason, but we're going to talk more basketball. We will. And then we're going to get to football. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about the Maryland game, talk a little bit about recruiting, because who wouldn't want to talk about that? But first, need to talk everyone's ears off about Omaha Steaks. That's right. The holidays always feel a little easier when you already know the perfect gift. And yeah, it's Omaha Steaks. They almost make it too simple, guys. Whether you're treating yourself this season or sending something memorable to family and friends, Omaha Steaks delivers handcrafted perfection right to their door. And this week, well, it's the best time to jump in because of their cyber sale is here and the deals are huge. As the quality is exactly what you are looking for. We're talking tender steaks, rich flavor, the meals that make hosting so much easier. Or even if you just want to fire something up on a weeknight by yourself, yeah, hey, it's there for you. Just go to the fridge or the freezer, wherever you put the package, man. Come on. So guys, also save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off on select favorites during their cyber sale. And take an additional $35 off when you use promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's it. Just college. That's going to knock off an extra $35 off. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code COLLEGE. Terms apply. See site for details. Also, gang, hey, Alumni Hall, what better time to start your holiday shopping, and what better place to do it than with Alumni Hall, because they have the largest selection of officially licensed gear. We're talking Nike, we're talking Columbia, Champion, Yeti, New Era, so much more. And whether it's tailgating gear, hats, gifts for kids, gifts for adults, whatever it is, guys, go ahead and peruse Alumni Hall, whether it's on their app, whether it's just right there in the store. You're going to find something for all the Spartans in your life. And best of all, they're going to take care of the Spartan community, guys. Michigan State students, faculty, and military and all first responders, you get 10% off with a valid ID in the store. Like I said, hey, go ahead, download the Alumni Hall app, follow them on social media for more deals and sales, and pop into Alumni Hall in the Eastwood Town Center in Lansing near the Apple Store, or shop online or through their app. And guys, for every $150 you spend, you're going to get $10 in Hall cash use for the next time. So grab the new game day look or upgrade your tailgate with Alumni Hall, your ultimate Michigan State shopping destination. Let's keep talking about this. I was going to say stunner, but I guess when Michigan State plays defense this well, is any defeat, no matter the margin, no matter the team, stunning at all with this group? Probably not. But, man, I saw a few outcomes coming. I did not see a nearly 20-point beatdown over North Carolina. What a way to take it home. But let's talk about that defense. I'll talk about this after every single win, guys, because it amazes me how well they play. North Carolina, they scored 80-plus points in 5 of their first 6 games going into this one. They didn't just hold North Carolina to 58 points, but we all saw the same game, right? We all saw the same gym they were playing at, the quality of those rims, too. There's a rim at my parents' house when, moved into the house, at this point, almost 20 years ago. That's been in my parents' driveway for 20 years. The amount of rain that it's seen, snow that it's seen, probably thousands and thousands of jumpers. We've dunked on the rim when we lowered it to 8 feet. That rim in my parents' driveway is like floppier than a stack of Post-it notes. And that's what it looked like at the Fort Myers tip-off. Those were the softest rims I've ever seen. So the fact that you held UNC to 58 points on those rims, where basically if a ball touches the rim, it's going to find a way in the hoop, that's like holding the team to 35 points on a real hoop, in my opinion. Michigan State's defense is nasty. And, of course, it's not a one-off. I mean, they held Kentucky to just 66 points. They held Arkansas to 66 points. It's what we've been saying after every win. Will Michigan State win every game? No. But they will never walk into a game with, no chance to win just because that defense is going to give them a fighting chance no matter what happens on the offensive end. We saw it with the Arkansas game. 1 3-pointer the entire night. And yes, 3-pointers aren't the only way you can score in basketball, but they sure help when you make more than one. You know what else helps, though? Having a top 5 defense in the country. Right now, BartTorvik.com has Michigan State as the number 4 ranked defense as far as defensive efficiency goes. I'm a homer. I got my green tinted glasses on. I've seen them do it against 3 top 25 teams. I don't even think number 4 is doing it justice. They look like the last few years of Houston teams, where if a team reaches 70 points, they should be able to keep the ball as a memento. They are suffocating on defense. And I really just wanted to highlight this stretch of the game here. North Carolina, up 7 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first half. It looks like Tar Heel fans are going to enjoy their night at the beach. And you know what? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, well, it's a tough bunch. They're long, they're lengthy, and also, oh yeah, that's right, we got a Michigan State defense here, which helps MSU end the half at an 18-6 run because they forced 11 missed shots from North Carolina to end the half. Here's the 3 ways North Carolina scored in the last 7 minutes and 42 seconds of that half. They made a 3-pointer because Jeremy Fear slipped on that awesome floor that was just greased up with Crisco. So he slips, and okay, guy just dots a 3 right there as Fierce is laying on the ground. Great. There was a free throw that was hit after Cam Ward got to his spot just a little bit late, put him to the line, and then a very well-contested layup by Jaxon Kohler. No easy buckets unless our guys are falling down like cartoon characters on that ridiculous court, but I digress. Also in the second half too, 6 points in the last 9 minutes for North Carolina. It is just suffocating. You guys already know the rebounding. I mean, that's going to be here to stay too. They won the rebounding battle 37-30, and just beat them 12-6 on second chance points. Guys, it's amazing here. I love it here. We'll get to more basketball. I mean, on future shows, guys. But guys, it's time to talk about what we are all here for, and that, of course, is Michigan State football. And before we even get to this game on Saturday, the finale of it all at Ford Field, let's talk about recruiting. Because believe it or not, next Wednesday is early signing day. And it's kind of ridiculous to call it early signing day because, that's just when 90% of kids sign. You get my point. I'll save my gripes for a different time. Look, here's the state of things right now for MSU football recruiting. According to On3, they have the 33rd ranked class in the nation. 24/7 Sports, I believe, has them at 34, so not too far at all. Now, Michigan State did gain. They did gain a player. That's right, Rayshawn Elmore. He commits to the class, and he's a receiver. Okay, guys, and, just a 3-star receiver, of course, but this happens because Tyron Wortham, he decommits a few weeks ago. It's clear they want 3 wide receivers in this class, and joining him, Samson Gash, the 4-star out of Detroit Catholic Central, who, yes, did visit Alabama a few weeks ago. Nothing's happened since, but that's where our eyeballs are at right now as far as signing day drama. Will Samson Gash, the speedster out of Catholic Central, be part of this class? And then going down to Illinois, Zach Washington also going to be part of this wide receiver class. Now, Michigan State did lose a commit in the last few days, and that would be 3-star offensive line Quinn Buckey. Now, there are a few ways to read this, right? Week before signing day, 3-star kid, decommits. Now, could just be a very normal reason. Sure, why not? He's a West Coast kid. The kid's from California. He's got a brother that plays at UCLA. Could he just very well want to play for the Bruins? Does he want to see the new energy that new staff will have? Yeah, possible. Of course it is. He's also got some other Power 4 offers too, or are we going to break our tinfoil hats back out? Because we, I think, are allowed to break them out because it's Friday now. Me and Stephen Brooks the other day joked about how Jay Batt will make his statement on Jonathan Smith returning next year during Thanksgiving, do a total news dump because he knows it's not going to make anyone happy anyway. But no, that didn't even happen. You've heard nothing from the athletic department. Jonathan Smith just started his press conference earlier in the week talking about how he hasn't even heard if he is for sure back or not. So is this a kid seeing the lack of clarity over here in East Lansing and saying, well, I don't know what's going on over there, so I'm going to go ahead and attach myself to a more stable program ahead of signing day? Look, am I saying that is for sure what it is? No, it's not. But hey, you get to throw all theories out and out on the table and see which one is going to stick here. Or is it number 3? You really want to get the tinfoil out. Is because is there movement at the offensive line coaching position? Because that has been a rough-looking bunch this year. If Smith comes back, I would imagine some coaches, plural, would have to be switched around here. I do wonder if it'll be Jim Maholchek. I don't know. I haven't heard anything that would suggest that. But yeah, when an offensive lineman decommits a week ahead of signing day, we're going to throw that on the table too. See what you guys do with it. Now, it's still going to be a solid offensive line class. Colin Campbell, 4-star, rising four-star, top 200 kid now at this point. I mean, this kid has only gone up in the rankings since committing to Michigan State. Hey, he's part of the fold. Eli Bickle, Tristan Comer, 2 guys from Michigan. Okay, so 3 linemen in the class right now. Now, you also could be gaining a few more kids. Michigan State has extended offers. They have a visit on the books, actually, for Solomon Baggett. He is a 5'10", 195-pound running back from Arkansas State, and he will be visiting Sunday, according to Corey Robinson of 24/7 Sports. Also, there's another offer for a defensive tackle because there's only one defensive tackle in the class right now, Christopher Knowles. And this other offer goes to Yendor Mack. Now, he is a Coastal Carolina commit, so we'll see if they could flip the Chanticleer commit. Recruiting. Catch the fever. All right, guys, we're going to be talking about this Michigan State-Maryland game. And I know you guys will tune in. Who doesn't want to hear about this game? But first, need to talk your ears off about FanDuel Sportsbook. And speaking of Saturday's game, Michigan State at the time of recording, sit down for this one. I want to make sure you're sitting down because this might shock you. Michigan State favored by 3.5 points against Maryland. That's right, guys. Hey, let's say that you're just out on football entirely. The NBA's back. That's cool. There's no better place to get in on all the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, even if you miss the start of the game, you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to the fourth quarter comeback that seemingly always happens in the NBA. Plus, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Keeps every game exciting, especially when it's your team making that late-game push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com, sign up, play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. That's right. Catch the fever. It's the granddaddy of them all. Spartans, Terrapins, Ford Field. Toughest ticket in the city, guys. Oh boy, there's 2 teams that have not won a game since the calendar read September. Maryland. Look, check out these bozos coming into town. They got a 7-game losing streak. Imagine that. Wow, not my team. Whatever, guys. No, we're going to do this justice. We're going to do a proper preview here. Now, Maryland has lost not just 7 in a row, but they've lost their last 4 games by double digits to Indiana, which understandable, respectable. Rutgers, Illinois, and Michigan. So what does Maryland actually do fairly well? And especially, juxtaposed with what does Michigan State not do well? One of the keys to the game here goes without saying. Protect Alessio Milivojevic. I try to keep this guy standing the entire game because, Michigan State has not necessarily done that so far this season. Your Spartans have allowed a Big Ten high 37 sacks. Now, Maryland's fine. Like, they're 6th in the Big Ten in sacks. But, man, it's who the sacks are coming from that have really caught my eye. 2 freshmen, Zahir Mathis, Sidney Stewart. I mean, both these guys have 5 sacks on the season. Zahir Mathis actually has 25 pressures. Sidney Stewart, even more, 34 pressures. Guys, I got a stat that's going to make you fall to your knees and wonder where everything went wrong in life for our Spartans here. I'm going to say that stat again for Sidney Stewart. Again, freshman. I don't even think he's redshirt freshman if my notes serve correctly here. 34 pressures for the young man. 34 pressures is double what Michigan State's top guy has. Would anyone like to guess who has the most pressures for Michigan State this season? Quindarius Dunnigan. He has 17 pressures. Freshman Sidney Stewart has 34. So, look, it's a more than competent defensive line there, which I know is odd to think about. We're used to Maryland at least being this, decent enough offense to, in theory, keep them somewhat in any game. But it's actually their defense that's been pretty decent despite losing 7 games this year. And, look, their quarterback isn't too bad either, or at least certainly wasn't bad to start the season. It's Malik Washington. True freshman, former top 200 kid. I mean, this kid came in with a pretty high pedigree out of high school. Now, it has been kind of a regression here after a really hot start to his year. He hasn't thrown for over 55% in the last 5 games. He has at least 1 interception in the last 5 games. Now, what kind of a player is he? I mean, he's got legs. Like, he can extend a play. He can scramble. But they don't do a lot of design runs necessarily for Malik Washington. Maybe just 1, 2, possibly 3 per game. Or maybe since this is the last game of the season, He'll have the full offseason to recover. Maybe they'll just let him run wild and chalk up 8 or 9 plays for him. Kind of reminds me of what they were doing with Aiden Childs last year. Like, yeah, he has the legs. He is a weapon out there if he does run, but we also want to preserve his health. We're not going to deploy him on too many runs to start the season. Maybe build it up towards the end, but you get the point, guys. Like, he is a talented kid. It's just, yeah, he's hit a little bit of a freshman wall ever since halfway through the season when he's playing stiffer competition. The offensive line for Maryland, it's a pretty thin offensive line depth-wise, so that's what you got right here. Again, does have the legs. He did run for 160-some yards against Rutgers not too long ago. Half of those were in scramble situations like we just talked about. So, yeah, can you limit what he can do? Can you force oh, my God, for the second week in a row, can you force a turnover on defense? Woo! Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Perhaps the key to the game here, though, is what team is going to be able to run the ball. Now, Maryland, not that good at running the ball, okay? They have the second fewest explosive runs in the Big Ten. All right, now on the other half, your Michigan State Spartans, they lead the Big Ten in tackles for loss allowed, with 88 such plays allowed. Guys, I want to paint another picture. This is not a fun preview, but it's not been a fun season, but I'm just here to give you guys the straight facts here. Like I said, Michigan State, they have allowed 88 tackles for loss. That is the worst in the Big Ten, and that is 24 tackles for loss worse than the next worst team, which is Rutgers, by the way, in case you were wondering. They are 24 tackles for loss away from the 17th place team in the Big Ten. That's how catastrophic it's been, guys. They are letting up so many sacks. They are letting up so many tackles for loss. I mean, there's only one team in Power 4 football that has allowed more tackles for loss, and it is Colorado. What a dumpster fire that program is over there. I mean, not to throw stones in the glass house that we're in, but oh lordy. So we all know it too, guys. Like Michigan State, we're not that great at running the ball. With our Big Ten games that we've had so far, all 8 of them, there's only been one where Michigan State has ran the ball for more than 4 yards per carry. That was the Penn State game because, well, Eli Tolliver, he ran his first carry for 50-some yards. Like, that skewed the numbers to let you hit 4 yards per carry. So, yeah, this is a very stoppable force against a very movable object coming up here. So that might be who's going to win this game, who could actually establish a ground game better than the other side. Can it be MSU? I'd be asking for them to do something they have in the last 2-ish months of the season. I can't believe we're favored this game. Anyway, speaking of being favored this game and not believing it, we're going to do 5 best bets. And guys, we are on the ropes right now. Like, we need to ace this test to get back to 500 on the season. We were slowly inching our way back after giving ourselves some damaging blows earlier this season, but we went 2-3 last week. And that brings the season record at 30-35. So we really need to swing for the fences here and hit a home run. So for the 5 games this week, and I might do this during the college football playoff season, who's to say, but at least for the regular season, this is the finale coming up. This week, that's right, we're going to the wonderful land of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because our guy Pat Narduzzi, plus 6.5 against Miami. And all that Pitt has been doing this year has just been just sabotaging the ACC's chances at having any happiness in the postseason. Why not put the dagger finally in Miami for the final time? It's going to be cold. It's going to be miserable. I just have a hard time believing Miami will be in top form for that game. In Pitt, hey, say what you will about Narduzzi. It's just kind of been, like probably good at best at Pitt. He's got his boys ready to play so far late in the season in year number, 11 at that program. I'm going to go Pitt plus 6.5. We're going to go to the game going on in Ann Arbor between Michigan and Ohio State. I'm not going to pick a side, but I will go with under 44.5 points. I think that game is going to be a race to 20 points, so you can get there first. I predict a low-scoring game in that one. Just like I predict a low-scoring game in Florida State versus Florida. 2 dynamic powerhouse programs that are just looking their best, facing off against each other. We're going to go under 51.5 for that one. I also like Oklahoma minus 10.5 against LSU. Basically formally, I think, punched their ticket to the college football playoff. So we'll see what they could do there. I do like them, even though it's a big number. And then, guys, last but not least, for the granddaddy of them all, And I've said, I think 2 or 3 times already, I can't believe Michigan State's favored, which is why I'm going to stay away from the spread here. Because I've had my head chopped off too many times thinking, oh, that's a weird line. We're going to go with that. Or, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to overthink myself and we're going to fade that. I'm not even going to play the game with the spread. We're going to go to Undertown. A lot of unders this week. Because the over-under is 48.5 right now. Haven't necessarily been inspired with Michigan State's offense, although I do like Alessio Milivojevic. That's not a slight against him. I think that he's been a really, really solid quarterback so far. Hope he comes back next year. Maryland's offense also has some issues as of late. Neither team really inspire me on the ground game. I like Maryland's defense. Michigan State's defense has been playing pretty good for the last few weeks. We're going to go under 48.5 at Ford Field. So let's recap. Pitt plus 6.5 over Miami. Under 44.5 in Michigan versus Ohio State. Under 51.5 in Florida State versus Florida. Oklahoma minus 10.5 against LSU. And then MSU Maryland in the land down under 48.5. Guys, next time you hear from me, probably I'm going to say Sunday morning. I will be at the game at Ford Field. I am sick enough to go there. I'm actually excited. It's going to be a good time. Guys, if we run into each other, say what's up. It'll be a great time. Let's have a great belated Thanksgiving bonanza at Ford Field. Until next time, just remember, it's still basketball season. So we got that going for us. All right, guys. Again, we'll be recapping the Maryland game. Any announcement that happens with Jonathan Smith's future, we'll be talking recruiting, more basketball. You guys already know it. We talk everything green and white here at Locked On Spartans, part of the #1 ranked Locked On Podcast Network. Now, until then, take care of yourselves. Mix in the water this weekend. Love you all. Go green.